Good afternoon, boys and girls, wherever you're watching from, and welcome to Scene 4 of episode 30 of Love at First Scent, with me, Persolaise, coming to you again today from YouTube. Hopefully everything will be alright with the technology. I will just very quickly make sure that things are alright on the tablet, and I want to start straight away by smelling a perfume. Are we good? Yes, I think it's all right. Right, let's get straight into it because we have got two new releases that I want to try from this particular brand here, from Parle Moi De Parfum. And with no further delay, I think we should get straight into it. Here it is in its pouch, which would have come in a tin, looking very much like that. And I got these samples a few days ago, and as I said in yesterday's video, is all I've been able to do to stop myself from smelling them. This is the one that I would like us to smell first. It is called, very evocatively, Gardens of India. It's actually Gardens of India 79, which if you know anything about the brand, you will be aware that that means that this was the 79th modification, the 79th draft of the perfume that was finally accepted. Keep the hellos and things coming, by the way. I will respond to all of you in a moment. Now, Gardens of India, what kind of images does that conjure in your head? I'm so hoping that I will like this because I'm a bit of a fanboy of the brand. It's a brand that was started about 2.5 years ago, but didn't really launch in a big way or at all, I think, actually, in Britain until last year. And this is my favourite scent of theirs. I won't get into it now. It's the Papyrus Oud, but look up the Persolaise.com blog to find out exactly why I like it. But it's not the only one I like by any means. So please, please, please let this be good, or at least let one of them be one that I like. The other one we will smell today as well. So, Gardens of India, brand new from Parle Moi De Parfum, doesn't come out in the UK until May. Let's see what it's like. I am genuinely nervous here because, as you know, I cannot hide my reactions. Okay, what have you got for us, Monsieur Almarac? Oh, I was kind of hoping it might be a white floral or a jasmine, because Gardens of India immediately makes me think of jasmine. And in that sense, it does not disappoint. At least so far. Okay, so it's very, very, so far, very softly feminine. Perfume is all about association, right? I'm sure I've said this before on my videos. I'm sure I've written about it on the blog. And so if somebody puts the word India in your head, if somebody puts the word gardens in your head, then you can't help but start making associations, especially if you've got certain cultural references in your head already. And I'm thinking of jasmine garlands in hair, the way a lot of Indian, Sri Lankan women like to wear, because there is something very, very soft, very gentle, very feminine about this so far, but almost as well that kind of slightly fruity shampoo laundry musk feel to it that that makes you think of the hair. And I think that's why I'm thinking of jasmine in hair, maybe a group of women walking through some kind of Indian garden. Interestingly, there is another Indian garden scent out there, as a lot of you will know, and of course it's Jean-Claude Hellena's Un jardin après la mousson for Hermès. Nothing like this at all. I personally love that scent as well, but it's one of the strangest perfumes I've ever smelled, with its sort of weird tomato leaf and ginger and marine notes thing happening. This is perhaps a more obvious, a more literal evocation of an Indian garden, and there could be touches of ylang ylang in there, maybe with a kind of faint banana note that's coming through, maybe a touch of tuberose, and a very, very smooth, a very smoothly musky, maybe woody base. I can imagine a lot of people actually smelling this and saying that maybe it's overtly commercial. But you know what? A few years ago, Dior's J'adore was also overtly commercial, and it was beautiful. It was a fantastically constructed jasmine. and there was nothing wrong with it then. And this feels like it could have been a, it could have been a J'adore from yesteryear. We'll come back to it. Let me look at some comments. Thumbs up so far, thank goodness. Very potentially love at first scent. Where should I pop this? Right, a few comments coming. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. I will let you go back to episodes 1 and 2 to find out, if you don't already know, why I'm doing a brief series of videos at the moment, because I won't waste time in every episode repeating myself. So go back to episodes 1 and 2 to find out what is going on and why these are as short as they are. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Please like my video with a thumbs up if you like it, that is. Feel free to give me a thumbs down as well if you don't like it, but maybe you could tell me why you don't like it. Leave a comment, ask a question, even if you're not watching and the live broadcast, which actually, most people don't watch the live broadcast. Feel free to ask a question. I get round to all of the questions in due course. And then when I link to this on Facebook, please feel free to leave a comment on Facebook as well. Just while I am doing housekeeping type stuff, please don't forget that tomorrow's episode will be at this time again. So this is 2 p.m. UK time, which is 9 a.m. New York, 5 p.m. Dubai, and we will be looking at 3 new exclusives from Bulgari. Exclusives that are aimed specifically at men, but of course we don't bother with gender classifications here, as you know. So 3 new exclusives from Bulgari for men. Let me look at some of your comments. So Frank Hansen says, hi, right back at you, Frank. Please tell me where you are as well, because I love finding out where you are. Hello, Mr. Persolaise, says Reza. Hello back to you. And Ashfaq says hello. Thank you very much, by the way, to the people who have tuned into every single scene of episode 30 so far. I know that, not everybody can do that because we do have lives and we do have other commitments, but thank you very much for tuning in. What are you all up to this weekend? Do you all even have a weekend, or do some of you have work commitments? Reza says that the scent of the day is Guerlain's Angélique Noir. Very good. Love the juicy green aspect of it along with vanilla sweetness. And pozdrowienia z Warszawy, says Jarosław. Pozdrowienia do Jarosława też. Thank you very much for tuning in. Frank says, thanks for great videos. Scent of the day is Carved Oud by Tamine. Still winter in Norway. Oh, so you're in Norway. Tamine is I've yet to fall in love with anything from that brand. I don't know whether I'm supposed to say Tamine or Thamine, but we'll put that to one side. If you like it, then, I always say, if you enjoy wearing something, then carry on wearing it and don't worry about what the likes of me say. Ashfaq says, your description of Gardens of India reminds me of Sultan Pasha's Ocean of Flowers. May I know the name? But there you go. Let's give it some spotlight again. Gardens of India 79 from Parle Moi De Parfum, composed by Michel Almarac, of course. It's a brand that he co-founded with his sons, Benjamin and Romain. I'm pretty sure it is. If it's not, really sorry. Somebody correct me. Gunmetal, hello there. And scent of the day is LVNEA's body oil scented with labdanum. Local Canadian brand, all natural. I'm glad you told me that, because I was thinking, am I supposed to know what LVNEA is? Ooh, sounds intriguing. Mystery Forms Beta says, greetings from the Pacific Northwest. Gosh. So it must be, hang on, Pacific Northwest, so it must be even earlier there. Well, what is it there, like 7 a.m. or 6 a.m.? Pacific Northwest. So what is that? What is that, like Washington State? Am I right? I don't know. Gunmetal says, I'm in Canada. I still get such a kick out of the fact that here I am in our spare bedroom, sort of transmitting to the. We need Eastern Hemisphere as well. Hang on, is it an Eastern Hemisphere? Do we talk about Eastern and Western Hemispheres, or is it just Northern and Southern? Never mind. Geography teachers out there? Ashfaq says, from very rainy Dakar. Oh yes, of course, you did tell me that you're in Dakar. Good for us in this hot weather. I think that's all the comments so far. I have a little bit of a press blurb on Gardens of India before we move on to the other release. Now, where did I put the little bit of press info? It's not very long at all. So, Gardens of India 79, a true tribute to a country so rich in perfumery's raw materials, but absolutely right, so many perfumery raw materials come from India. Flowers, woods, spices, almost everything can now be grown and extracted in India. However, in perfumer Michel Almarac's eyes, the noblest and most beautiful materials that build the harmony of this new creation are tuberose, sambac jasmine and sandalwood. And that's it. What a fantastically succinct press release. I have fondness for press releases that, kind of try to spin us a bit of a yarn, but those ones are pretty good too. And guess what? It really is jasmine, white florals, and yeah, I can go with sandalwood in the base. Don't forget that I do little blotter updates as well, a few hours after the initial live stream. Because we must not forget that these are just first impressions. I actually did a written review on the blog of an Hermès perfume where I talked about the very real problem of coming to conclusions in this sort of a setting. Perfumes are not supposed to be things or creations that we come to final conclusions about after an initial sniff. And I do try to wear every single one of them on skin. I try to spray them on members of the family, especially if they've got their back turned to me, and I can creep up on them from behind and spray something on them without them knowing. That's always very, very satisfying. And so that's why those blotter updates are important, because at least they try to give some sort of an impression or a sense of how the perfume develops over time, which, especially from a brand like Parle Moi De Parfum, a perfumer like Michel Almerac, is very important, because you want to know where the perfume goes. This so far is very accessible, very approachable. You could even say safe, but it doesn't at all feel thin or crass or unconvincing, and I would certainly be interested to see how it develops on skin. It strikes me as being potentially a very summery jasmine, a very hot weather jasmine. Let me go back to the stream, so I always worry that I miss comments. Have I got stray hair? Sorry, people. Hair and makeup is just appalling at the moment. Just can't get decent hair and makeup. Somebody actually asked me the other day, who does your hair and makeup? And I sort of went, well, thanks for implying that you think there is proper hair and makeup being done, but it is just me trying to fix this in front of a mirror. Lynn's Smells says, hello from... Ooh, how do you... Is it... If it's a French name, is it going to be Niort or Niort? I'm going to go with Niort. Tell me, do you pronounce the final T or do you not? In France. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in, Lynn's Smells. Gunmetal says, Dariush, will you be going to Aix-en 2019? Who is this Dariush of whom you speak? No, I will not. Aix-en is always at a bad time of year for me, so sorry, no, I will not be there. I'm not a big fan of those sorts of gatherings anyway, but we'll leave that for another day. Ashfaq says, scent of the day is Ibn Zamrak, a wild Malaysian oud from Al-Hashimi Oud, an artisan oud distilling house. Sounds thoroughly intriguing. I've yet to try this house, Ashfaq says, meaning Parle Moi De Parfum. Thanks, I'll try to grab their sample set. Yes, well worth it, but I don't know if they've updated it with the new releases. Oh, and Lynn says no T, so thank you very much. So I'm guessing it's Niort. Niort in France. It's always confusing with those sorts of things, because there's a tiny little town right next to Antibes, whose name is spelled B-I-O-T, but there you do pronounce it because it's Biot. So there you go. And Reza says, Matthew McConaughey does the hair. Okay, random reference. Is that a kind of joke that I should be getting there? Right, the second one from Parle Moi De Parfum, before I leave you in peace for the rest of your Saturday. This has got a potentially even more exciting name, but also maybe even a potentially more worrying name, because it is called Saffron Wood. Okay, and this is Saffron Wood 91. Now, why do I say... Oh, hang on, comment. Gunmetal, Parle Moi De Parfum is quite reasonably priced within the niche world. Yes, actually, thank you for saying that. Good point. That they are very, very accessibly priced, and I believe they do two sizes. Well, look at me saying, I believe they do two sizes when I've got two sizes right under my nose, but I'm pretty sure that all of their scents come in both of their sizes, which is the 50ml and the 100ml. Some are exclusives. I know that certainly the Papyrus Oud for a while was exclusive to Selfridges, perhaps it still is, and I think this one is also going to be a Selfridges exclusive. But anyway, Saffron Wood 91. So it took Michel Almerac only 91 tries to get to this. I did know the name before I did this broadcast, but I genuinely swear on anything you want me to swear. I have not smelt this yet. And it does worry me a little bit because I kind of think, okay, if it's going to be a Selfridges exclusive and if it's called Saffron Wood, does that mean it's going to be something really, really overtly aimed at the Arabian market? And that in itself doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it so often ends up being a bit of a generic thing because they do the kind of saffron oudi thing and you think, okay, I've smelt this a million times before. Why do we need to keep having the same formula regurgitated? So it is with some trepidation that I'm about to spray this, but at least we have had one good one, so a 50% success rate is fine. But, you know, having said all of that, even if it is a fairly predictable Arabian saffron wood, in Michel Almarac's hands, it may turn out to be one of the best of this sort of scent. So who knows? Who knows? All will be revealed in a few seconds when Persolaise finally shuts up and sprays this thing. All right, let's do it. Okay, please be good. Right, let's pop this here, shall we? Okay, Saffron Wood 91. Parle Moi De Parfum. Okay, it definitely is that thing that I thought it might be. But it's kind of making me melt ever so slightly, so maybe it is going to be a really, really good example of it. Madame Persolaise isn't in right now. She will be back very soon. And I just know, if I smell this, she's going to be doing one of those stopping in her tracks moments, kind of going, what is that? Okay, and this is the part of the broadcast where I feel I need to lower my voice and put on some Barry White CDs. Which makes me think, the very first advert for J'adore actually had a Barry White song playing in the background, didn't it? When that woman walked into the pool of gold. So Barry White is the common theme for today's live stream, ladies and gents. Seriously though, it does make you want to kind of start growling a little bit and saying, is that a film noir in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Okay, so it is saffron, but at least on paper, not overdone at all. It is woody notes, it is leather notes, but again, very, very skillfully, artfully blended. And I think maybe I just need to turn down the lights now and say, good night. Persolaise is... Never mind, about to put on his leather jacket and hit the town. It's very, very seductive, very slinky, and my fondest hopes so far are coming true because, yes, we kind of have smelt it before, but not as damn carnal as this somehow. But it's a kind of across the room carnality. I think the film noir reference actually is one that I might want to go with a bit further, carry it on, because it's that eyes meeting across the room kind of seductiveness. Gosh, this is definitely right. I will be trying this on skin, and Madame Persolaise will be trying the Gardens of India. Missed some comments, and I've got a little bit of a press blurb on this as well, but it is as short as the other one. Where were we? Gunmetal says, oh yeah, we had that one. Lynn says, or Lynn Smell says, I'm intrigued. Yeah, you should be. You should be. Do you know what's interesting as well is that it doesn't actually shout, at least not on the blotter as loud as I thought it would. And that must be technically quite interesting, because a lot of these sorts of materials, like the saffron notes, like for example Givaudan's synthetic called Saffrolane, which is quite an interesting kind of woody saffron substitute. They really do shout. But this is a kind of, you know, you need to get right up close to the abaya or the dish dash wearing individual in front of you. Ashfaq says, future request, please do an episode on Henry Jacques. Do you know what? I would love to, but that I think will actually be an impossibility, because there is no way that you can get, or there's no way that I can get samples, and all of their stuff is perfume oils. The only place that I could get to smell their things in the UK is their very beautiful boutique in the Salon de Parfum in Harrods, the top floor of Harrods. And short of doing a video from there, I can't see how I'd ever be able to do that. So, but yes, if you ever do come across a Henry Jacques boutique somewhere, I think they've got one in Dubai. I'm pretty sure they have one in another location, maybe Russia, maybe I'm wrong. Do check them out. They have some really, really beautiful oils and very beautiful oud oils. Gunmetal says, I really want to try Papyrus Oud, but it seems Parle Moi De Parfum don't sell individual samples. I already have the Discovery set. Oh, okay, which doesn't have Papyrus Oud. Maybe they'll update the Discovery set, or maybe they will move into selling individual samples. I know that it's not very cost effective for brands to make and sell and ship small samples, so maybe that's why they prefer to do it Discovery set style. But maybe now that there's Papyrus Oud and 2 new ones, perhaps they'll extend this. I'm not sure. The kind of the slightly more overtly synthetic edge of some of the saffron materials is coming through, but in a good way. It's very dry. It's super dry, which I do like, because I don't think there are enough dry perfumes out there. Ooh, so I think, tentatively, at this stage, putting aside the fact that there's going to be a blotter update, I think we can give both of these a thumbs up. Let me just look at the press notes. Any final questions? Send them now, because we're about to finish. Right, where was I? Where was I with the little press material? So, Saffron Wood is all about celebrating saffron, as well as roses from Turkey and cedarwood from Virginia. Yeah, fine. I'll give you that. That's probably the dryness coming through as well. Saffron is a wonderful ingredient, but very expensive to grow, harvest and extract. The classical mix is about blending it with roses to give contrast and power to the saffron. The fragrance is powerful and long-lasting, the strongest in the Parle Moi De Parfum collection. Really interesting. I wonder if that means in terms of concentration or just longevity. Definitely one to try on skin. So, boys and girls, we are nearly at the end of scene 4. Don't forget, exactly same time tomorrow for the Bulgari episode. And just a few comments came through. Raza says, Henry Jacques in Dubai, still waiting for a Guerlain boutique here. Oh, perhaps I'm wrong. I thought there was one in Dubai. I could be wrong. Ashfaq says, I've been in the London one a few times, wish I was a millionaire. Yes, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. And Gunmetal, there's a Henry Jacques boutique opening in Kuala Lumpur. Oh, okay, interesting. I'm very surprised, to be honest, bearing the weak currency power. Ashfaq says, saffron is my favourite note right after oud and rose oil, so I'll definitely check it out. I think you should. Lynn says, can we have a skin update too, please? Yes, okay, on this one, I promise I will do a skin update. And Razar says, yes, and the Dubai Mall. Oh, so is that where it is? I didn't know where it was, but I was pretty sure that there was one. Mind you, pretty much everything is in Dubai Mall. Say hello to the fountains next time you're there. Okay, not done too badly today, people. I'm leaving you in peace before the 25-minute mark. As always, thank you very much for tuning in. If you have questions or comments after the live stream, please do leave them. I'll always get round to every single one. Subscribe to the channel, give me thumbs up, leave comments on Facebook as well, and I will see you at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.